All right, Miss Betty, how long did you and your family stay in Houston?
Uh, a year. So 2005, 2006. Yes, a year.
Okay, and so when you guys got back to the city, was it extremely hard to find jobs and become financially stable when you guys returned?
No, I was when before I came home, I had a job. I was able to go back to my same place of employment.
Okay, and how do you feel about the country as a whole, as it took 5 days to get the citizens and just people in general food and water?
Horrible, horrible. It should not have taken that long.
Okay, and what was your initial reaction when you were watching the TV and they called the people of the city refugees?
It hurt my heart because I am a citizen of the United States of America. I'm not a refugee.
Also, how do you feel Mayor Nagin handled Katrina as a whole?
Badly.
And can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes. He's still in jail because of the things that he did during during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina to enrich his pockets.
Okay, and with that being said, who was the mayor after Nagin, and did they help? Did they contribute a lot to the rebirth of the city?
Yes. Oh, his name was Mitch Landry.
Okay.
Yes.
And lastly, and most importantly, do you feel New Orleans is ready for another major? Will they be prepared if another major hurricane hits the city?
I'll tell you what, if it happened next week, no.
And
We
why do you
can't
feel
have a
that
little
way?
rain without flooding in certain parts of the city.
All right, Miss Betty. To start off, how was the crime before and after Katrina?
The crime was not as bad as it was after Katrina.
Okay, and so as far as the Saints before Katrina, and also can you describe them how they were after as well?
Let me explain something to you. The first the game we had after Katrina, I think, was the Atlanta game. That game was awesome. It made us feel like we were home, and everything was going to be all right. I'm not saying because of something somebody told me. I was there. I experienced it, and it was a feeling that I don't think we'll ever have again.
Okay, and so as far as the people and the population before and after Katrina, do you feel as if the city it was a big impact and effect?
Yes, we have a lot of people who did not come back home because they could not afford to come back home, and wherever they what you call that word?
Relocated.
Wherever they relocated, they were able to find better jobs.
Okay, and so as far as relocating, where did you and your family go, and what made you guys come back to the city?
Houston, Texas, and there's no place like home. We had a home to come back to, and we were able to come back to our home.
Okay, and so as far as the economy and just far as things that you guys bought in general, as far as gas and those type of things, were things more cheaper or a lot more expensive during the restructuring of after Katrina and everything?
When we came back home,
Yes.
that was hard to say because I didn't drive it. I drove that at that time, but I didn't have to pay for gas.
Okay, so
Because we stayed in the hotel until our home was finished.
okay, so as far as the economy as a whole, do you feel like it was better or worse after Katrina?
It's a little better for some people.
And when I've heard that New Orleans was the murder capital during Katrina, and just because of all the destruction and everything, why do you think that was?
They said it was the murder capital of the world, but it was not because we lived in Houston. And every day there was something going on in Houston that was as bad as it was in New Orleans or worse. But they always focused on us.
Okay, and so what would you say to you and just many people that you talk to and many people that you know is the biggest difference with the city now and before Katrina?
Now we have such a thing as justification. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We have more people of other races that's coming into our community where they wouldn't have come before. We have people coming into our community who moved from like Slidell or other portions of nearby community coming directly into our community. which is a good thing.
So there's more diversity as a whole in the
Yes.
city.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and so with that being the biggest difference, what would you say your biggest takeaway with Katrina, and just like I said before and after, the biggest takeaway you think Katrina gave the city?
I think it gave us, we were always close before Katrina, but there's a more closeness now, if you understand what I'm saying.